All right. How are you doing today? It's been a while that we did a long video or a live that I've come live on YouTube. It's been very short one, because when you're busy, you just want to grab 1 minute, 2 minutes, then to do all those shots. I was just trying to keep up, but I've decided I have some time today to come and do a live video, so we can have a discussion on everything that's been going on. What can we do? What can be done? So if you are just joining in, I want to say welcome. Thank you for joining in today. We're going to have a great discussion. Okay. But I'm just going to go through what has happened in these past few months for graduate applications in the United States and what we can do, what can we do to especially those who are making applications or those who have made applications already. This is January. What should you do? What are the things that we should look out for? TJ, how are you doing? Good morning. Yeah, it's morning. Yeah, it's almost 12. Yeah, good morning. All right, what you should do. So just for those who are not aware, just to recap, this whole thing started when the F1 visa, basically for non-immigrant visa, the Amos Onoja, good morning. Hope you are doing well. Oh, good evening in your time. It's 6 p.m. in Nigeria. So it started when the visa was reduced from 2 years, the eligibility, the duration for the visa, F1 visa used to be 2 years. And then last year, when the new administration came in, it was reduced to 2 to 3 months. Okay, so F1 visa was reduced to 3 months. It used to be 2 years, multiple entries. Okay, that means in that 2 years, and if you check some past shots that I made, I think I was not able to make a long video. I had some shots which I made just describing the process. So, multiple entries simply means when you travel into the US with your student visa, within that 2 years, you can go and come, travel for conferences, go to Cambodia, go to Mexico, go to Canada, go to Europe, go to conferences, come back, go to Nigeria, come back, without having to renew your visa, okay, within 2 years. But after that 2 years, you definitely, if you go out of the country, will have to renew your visa. And after 2 years, what is keeping your status legal in the United States is your I-20, those documents, because it has its own expiration date, which is not 2 years, basically to the end of your studies. All right. So when the new administration came in, it was changed from 2 years to 3 months. And not just 3 months, it became single entry. That means once you enter, if you go out of the country again, if you go out of the United States again, to come back in, you have to go and do a visa. So that was the first thing that was changed. I think it was changed around July 2025, July 8th or thereabouts. Ephraim, I greet you. I greet you. Good evening. So it was changed to 3 months. Now, after that, some countries were placed on a list whereby they have to pay a visa bond of around $5,000 to $15,000 if they have to come into the United States. Nigeria was not placed on that list at that time. However, later in the year, Nigeria was placed on a suspension list. Every non-immigrant, it was called a partial ban or suspension list, as they call it. They listed some countries, put them on in one category, and said, "Oh, all of you, this country in this category, we are suspending visa applications in your country." So the suspension, which from what we have had so far, it gets reviewed every either 3 months or 6 months, or as thereabout, either of the two, as the case may be, it gets reviewed. So Nigeria was placed on that list. So that was around December. Issuance of visas starting from January was suspended, and this created a lot of problem because there are many Nigerian students who have you've been as you all know, we've been talking about this application for the past 1 year. It's like a 1 year journey for a lot of people. You have to write GRE. For some people they write GRE. Some people, the stress of getting your transcript, getting your recommendation letter, searching for schools, sending cold emails, drafting your SOPs, doing all these things. It was a lot. So a lot of people were already prepared. Some people had paid application fee. So in fact, some people had gotten admission around that December. Okay, some people had gotten uh, Peter is saying 5 years, but for Nigeria it's 2 years. F visa was 2 years for Nigeria then. All right. Oh, okay. So basically, now go back to my discussion. People had already started preparing, doing all these things for this time, writing GRE, make application to school. Some already paid the application fee. Some already got advisors who had said, "Oh, we're gonna advise you. We're gonna be your supervisor when you arrive on campus. This and that." And then when this suspension came, it disrupted all the plans. I'm not sure if there are people who have paid service fee already at that time. I don't think so. I don't know of anyone, but I've seen those who have gotten who are celebrating their admission and the likes. And then when the suspension came, uh, oh, the journey up until now, yeah, 5 years, 5 years. Yeah, I get you, Peter. I get it. So when the suspension came, it disrupted a lot of things, especially for those who have gotten admission. They don't know what to do. Some schools wrote to some people and told them if the issue is resolved and the folks are able to get their visa before resumption in 2026, this 2026, that's fine. But if not, the person has the option of deferring the admission. Some schools sent messages to some people and said, okay, we see Nigeria is on a visa ban, we'll be withdrawing your application. I still received one of such message from someone last night, yesterday. We'll be withdrawing your application. And some schools they just didn't say anything. Probably they're just hoping that the issue will get resolved. And before you know it, another policy issue just came out that says all immigrant visas are suspended. Nigeria, again, unfortunately, was on that list too. And that applies to those who are applying for immigrant visas, not necessarily F1, B1, which are non-immigrant visas. Those ones are immigrant visas. A lot of people in the United States are affected who are Nigerians. A lot of people outside the country are affected too who are trying to do those types of visas. Now, basically, when you just follow the progression, what I'm trying to bring out is this. When you follow the progression, if things will get better in the next few months, we shouldn't see more restrictions, right? But it seems like there are just more restrictions, and it looks like the trajectory is going towards. I'm not sure if how soon all this will get resolved and Nigeria will be removed off the list. I'm not sure if before by June Nigeria will be removed from the list, and then because that was the hope a lot of people had. Hey Prince, how you doing, my Ghanaian friend? Your referee did us a bad thing. That referee from your country, he ate Nigeria. See all those calls he was making, terrible calls. Nigeria would have been in the final of AFCON now. But it's that referee from your country. But I love Ghana anyway. So if you look at the trend, it's like things are just getting more restrictive, more restrictive. You understand? Like last year we were hoping, oh, maybe when the country Nigeria starts playing ball, it's fine. We accept your apology. Maybe if Nigeria starts playing ball with the country, they will they will release some of this restriction. They will relieve some of the restriction. But it seems that the restriction just keep getting more and more. So what should you do at this point in time? Uh, Number one, I would say if you have an application and you've not received any message from your school, if they've not given you communicated with you that, oh, we are withdrawing your application, or you should defer your admission, I think just leave it there. You don't have to withdraw it yourself. Just let it be. You don't know what's going to happen in the next few months. Maybe things will be favorable or not. Okay, if you're asking me, should I make applications? Well, number one, this is January 16th. Today is January 16th. A lot of deadlines, some schools, deadline, most schools, many schools, their deadline was yesterday. And the next deadline for some schools will be February 1st. Some other schools will be February 2nd, some February 15th, February 31st. Of course, up until April. I will say this. Should you apply to US school at this time? If if you find application, that's the first answer. If you find schools with free applications, yes, you can still send your application, because again, at that point in time, you are not losing anything. You've prepared all this while, so you just dumping, not dumping, that's not the word I should use, but you're just putting it all on them. Now, should you pay exorbitant amount like $100, $70, $50, which is some people's salary and all those things, monthly salary? I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure, honestly. I'm not so sure. If you do, what I would say is to start looking for alternative countries. For example, some people still have opportunities in Canada. You can do Canada too. You can start applying to schools in Canada and see what you can get from there. Of course, the deadline is similar to US, so some of them would have been closed, some of them are closed already, but some are rolling applications, meaning you can apply anytime. Then the application will just be for the next cycle. For example, you can apply and then for fall 2026, if fall 2026 closes, the next thing will be spring 2027. So you can apply almost anytime. You will meet at least one of the sessions, either January or September or August resumption. So you can start looking at Canada, for example. You can start looking at Europe, for example. Oh, you paid to Stanford already. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And Stanford, I think, is expensive. If I remember well, the application fee is not cheap. It's not cheap. But if they have not gotten back to you, and I'm open. If any school gets back to anyone and they tell you we are withdrawing your application because of the ban, if you can respectfully request for your refund, the refund of your application fee is one thing you can do, because if they are withdrawing your application, that means they are not processing it. So you are entitled to a refund. I don't know if it's in their policy that the application fees are non-refundable. But again, if they are withdrawing it, then they should be able to give you your refund. If they will not, then they should just uh, what's the word now, go through the application, and then because you paid for it, that's what the payment was meant to be. So yeah, they are very expensive. Stanford, Berkeley, yeah, very expensive. So what I would say is this: if you have not applied, honestly, if it's not a free application or something very cheap like $10, $20, at most $30, I don't think there's a point in doing it. Honestly, we don't know what's going to happen, because if you look at the progression I mentioned, it just became more restrictive over the months. It became more restrictive. We don't even know what will happen when we wake up tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen, right? But of course, let me also say that there's a possibility that the ban is lifted, the suspension is lifted when they review it again, and then processing of issuance of visas continue again for international students, and you're able to come in. So like, it's a two-way thing. So instead of sitting down and not applying at all, I would say look at some other countries, look at Canada, look at South America. There are some countries in South America that have scholarships too. I've seen people with scholarships in Brazil. I've seen people even in Mexico with scholarship. What eventually happens is that those people, when they finish studying there, they still find their way into the US for one study or the other, or do postdoc and the likes. So look at Europe, to look at Asian countries, to look at Portugal. There are some in Portugal. Look at Italy. I know some scholarships in Italy. If you are in physics, look at ICTP. International Center for Theoretical Physics is in Trieste in Italy. Look at that place, you can apply there. Even in Africa, there are some scholarships on the continent of Africa. AIMS, for example, AIMS. That's for those in the mathematical sciences. It's in Africa, scholarship, everything fully funded, full ride. Even in the UK, as much as it's difficult to find scholarship, there are some in the UK. Gates Scholarship, Gates Foundation. I think they work with Cambridge University. You can look at Gates Scholarship there. Just don't. My point is, they don't sit idle and say, "Oh, now that US is closed, let me just not do anything." Don't let this year goes by you, because you've worked so hard already. You've done a lot already in this past 1 year, you or someone said 5 years, which is true. You've written a lot of exams, you've emailed a lot of people, you've written statement of purpose, people have checked for you, you've done all these things. You don't want it to go to a waste or just wait doing nothing for the next 1 year. So do something. Apply to Japan. There are some scholarships in Japan too. Singapore. There are scholarships in Singapore. Singer Award. There is a Singapore International Singer Singapore International, I think, Graduates Award or something like that. That's Singer Award. So look at Singapore too. Look at South Korea. There are some scholarship there. I think there is this. What's the scholarship called? I've forgotten. Those in international relations, for example, government policy. There is that global scholarship in South Korea. I've forgotten the name. One of my friends won. In fact, not one. Two of my friends won that scholarship many years ago when we were doing our graduate studies in Nigeria and US. They are don't just sit idle. Things you can look out for and get scholarship. Thank you, Prince. Korean government scholarship. Look at that scholarship. Very important. Just look at something. Do it. Even in Ghana, there are some scholarship. Yes, Doc Balajobi won it too. Yeah, my roommate in when I was doing my masters in UI in Nigeria, then he won the scholarship too. My roommate and another of our friend, were it comes to our room, then we were friends. Two of them won it. Okay, so look at this scholarship, push in, try your best. Now, Chebney scholarship, I know it's very competitive. A lot of people say it's competitive. Also know it's competitive. But at this point, just try your best and put in your best. Just do it. That's for you, Europe generally. There's Commonwealth scholarship for UK, for United Kingdom, or Commonwealth scholarship. That's usually more for those in the academia. They are usually nominated by their country. In Nigeria, for example, there are a lot of politics involved. But there's another one which is called Commonwealth Shared Scholarship. Commonwealth Shared Scholarship, you as a student, you are the one that applies directly. Apply for this thing. You don't know. You can just be either lucky or something, and then you win this scholarship. So put in your best, search for this scholarship, apply for them, apply to them. China also has some scholarships too. Go for it, apply. So now some government, for example, there is the New Zealand government. They have their own scholarship, New Zealand government scholarship. Look out for it too. Okay, look out for it. Now, I'm usually the type that says focus on a field that you can do. But at this point in time, when all your plans are trying to get scattered, don't let it go that way. Look at all the scholarship. You will find some of them that you get interested in, and you say, "Oh, I can lock in on this one and do it," and then you keep applying until you get it. Okay, it's very, very, very important. Now, countries currently facing war, I'm usually skeptical of them. Okay, because I have folks who are studying in Russia currently, for example, and before the war broke out, before the invasion of Ukraine, I have friends who were also in I mean, I have not just friends like junior, some of my students who were in Ukraine. They were studying in Ukraine when the war broke out, and a lot of things happened. I know how a lot of things that happened then. It wasn't very encouraging. So I'm skeptical of Russia, for example. For now, I'm really skeptical. For now, but again, if it's what you think you can do, because some people go there and with the mindset of, oh, we're gonna get a better life, probably for a student or working somewhere, and then they get enlisted into the army, and then they were sent into the front line. They were either captured in Ukraine or killed, and a lot of stuff's happening that way. So if you are comfortable with Saudi Arabia, they also have scholarship. I have people who have won scholarships in Saudi Arabia before. At least I think I know two people who have won scholarship. Is one of them who were colleagues during my undergraduate on campus. Then of course he's Muslim, so I think he probably finds it more comfortable. But I've also seen a Christian who also went there and then won the scholarship, finished everything, then left for another country. One moment. So if you are comfortable with Saudi Arabia, it's something you can do. And in that regard, there are also some countries within that region that have their own scholarships to Kuwait, they have some scholarship. UAE, United Arab Emirates, they have some scholarship. In fact, some of those scholarships are mouth-watering. The amount of money that they are giving people, uh, if you check UAE, for example, I think some of those schools they even request those of you who have written your GRE, it won't go to waste. Some of those schools or some of those scholarship require GRE, and then since you have written it, it's something you can be able to submit to them and say, "Oh, this is it." So what's my summary? All I'm saying is that you don't have to sit idle and do nothing because US is not looking conducive for now. Germany, for example, there are scholarships in Germany. Some of their studies, graduate studies, are free. Okay, even to non-Europeans. I think the PhD, not even only PhD, and some schools are also very cheap. So if you have if you have some money, if you have some amount of money, for example, in UK, you can have schools. Generally, in the US, schools are around $30,000 plus for international students. In the UK, you can find schools like that are like £15,000. Okay, if you have that money, you can go for it. £15,000 should be more than 20 million naira, more than 20 million naira, maybe 20 something million naira. If you have that, honestly, you can go for it. But of course, the positive side there is that you can also support yourself with some work to for your living expenses and the like. So all I'm saying is look at different options now. Okay, cast your bread. The Bible says, "Cast your bread upon many waters; you'll find it after many days." So cast your bread upon many waters now, and then you'll find it. But it's a very sad situation. We just hope everything gets resolved as soon as possible. You can share this video with some people who are thinking, who are already downcast, like, okay, what shall we do now? Or another year is going to waste. Send it to them. Let them see different options that they have. Okay, that doesn't have to be US this year. It doesn't have to be. But remember again, I said if you have application already, just wait. Hopefully something can happen. But while waiting, you don't want to be boxed in that corner. You want to spread out your tentacles. But let me just say, don't be so desperate that you fall into the hands of scammers, those who just want to get your money in the name of, oh, we help you find a job somewhere, oh, we'll help you do this, blah, blah, blah. Be careful, okay? Because during this period, a lot of people will take advantage of the desperation in the heart of people to try and, what's the word now, to not rob, but to to lure you into things that you shouldn't do. Someone was telling me, oh, they were saying, oh, it's something in one country, they can work there. I just want to go there and work. And I said, hey, be careful. Look at the things they are telling you. If it doesn't look, if it sounds shady, it's probably shady. You don't want to be involved in such things. You don't want to be in a situation where they will collect your passport and say, now you are welcome, and they collect your passport and keep it somewhere, and then you become a slave in code because you have no choice than to do what they tell you to do. All right, at this point, let me just wait for those with questions. Just as we do, if you have questions, you can type it in the comment section, and then I can answer it before we end the stream today. Okay. All right, seems there are no questions for me today, which is good. A lot of people already asked. Let me see if there's any question. TJ, you said you applied to FSU. Which department, TJ? Which department did you apply to? Okay, maybe TJ is no longer in the stream. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. All right. So if there are no more not if there are no more questions, I think uh, we have done well. You can just review this. Okay, yeah. All right, thank you so much, Prince. Thank you so much. All that is to be said is what you've put out here. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hopefully, if I get another time, of course, with updates, I will be coming with some live so that we talk and discuss this. But I don't want you to panic. Don't panic. Just be cool. Just look at other directions. Okay. You're not the only one feeling this. Even those in the United States trying to transition into different other things, they are feeling it. The anxiety is there. But again, I tell people, don't be anxious. Honestly, whatever will be, will be. And if we all have reunion in Nigeria, so be it. We have reunion, we'll still be talking, we'll still be doing all these things. It's very funny. But you see, we'll be where God wants us to be. That's just the summary. We'll be where God wants us to be. All right, thank you so much for joining me. Share this video with someone out there who needs to see this, who is already discouraged, doesn't know what to do. Share this video. There are options, there are things you can do. Okay, you don't have to just sit down without doing anything. God bless you so much. Have a nice evening. Have a nice day for those of us on this side. God bless you.